Hope you are doing well. Um, I'm sweating. It's August, so it's really hot out. But we have right here, we got this Buster Blader deck. Now, how about that? Buster Blader, the guy who hates dragons, and his partner in crime, Buster Dragon, who turns everyone into dragons. It's really kind of dirty. When you think about it. But yeah, so just this Buster Blader deck I've put together, done a lot of testing with it. Haven't really done much in terms of ranked. I've been doing some casual games with it, but haven't hit the ladder with it just yet. So if you see anything, that could be improved or whatever, or any ideas, I'd love to hear about them. But I'm thinking about it, going it over. I think, first thing, just kind of like let's go over the win condition of this deck. I think having an understanding of the win condition shows, why we, why I picked out, this engine or this, approach as opposed to others. Because if you look at a lot of Buster Blader decks out there on the internet, you will see a very large variety. You'll see them in every shape and size. So it was fun. It was interesting to look at them all. But yeah, so we can just start with the win condition. Obviously, like I mentioned before, you've got a guy that turns everyone into dragons, and you've got a guy who turns all dragon-type monsters to defense position and prevents them from activating their effects. So, yeah, Buster Dragon also works with... No, it's just the opponent's cards your opponent controls. But yep, Buster Blader, he also gains 1,000 for each dragon monster your opponents control or is in the graveyard. And, however, the drawback to that is he cannot attack directly. So, the weird thing about this deck is that the lock itself is actually surprisingly easy to get on board. The issue is what to do from there. And we'll see why in a second, just going over kind of the main cards that you use to get into this lock. So, we have our bad boy right here, Prologue of the Destruction Swordsman. So, 4 cost, you send 1 Destruction Sword card and 1 Buster Blader monster from the deck to the graveyard. Then you can special summon Buster Dragon directly from the deck. And also has this banish effect, which doesn't come up too much, but it's nice to have. That prevents Destruction Sword cards from being destroyed by battle or by card effect before the end of the turn. The only card where that kind of protection is relevant is with Buster Blader himself. But, it's a nice little bonus to put on top of it. So, when you activate Prologue of the Destruction Swordsman, typically you will be sending one of your Buster Bladers and Destruction Sword Memories, which, its field effect, its regular effect, it's alright. You're not going to use it for that very often. You just discard a Destruction Sword monster, special summon 1 Buster Blader. But your graveyard effect is what's good about it. Is you can banish this card, then fusion summon 1 Buster Blader, Dragon Destroyer Swordsman from your extra deck by banishing stuff in the graveyard. So it's kind of like a miracle fusion, I guess, but it's also in your graveyard, and you can do it on your opponent's turn, which is nice. So, you'll activate Prologue, have another dragon in the graveyard already, send Buster Blader and Destruction Sword Memories, and you'll have both guys on the field. Destruction Sword Memories can, because what happens is Prologue will send Destruction Sword Memories for cost, and so this will allow Destruction Memories to have the opportunity to chain itself to Prologue. So that's pretty neat, which enables it to work with Trap Trick. And that's very, very useful. So, another aspect to the deck is, of course, Buster Whelp. When he's normal summoned, you can add a Destruction Sword card from your deck to the hand. Most of the time, this is just going to be Prologue. If you already have Prologue, then you might want to add Whelp, or not Whelp, Dragon Buster. The one that was banned for a time, I believe. Buster Whelp also has some secondary effects. Tributing this card, you can tribute it, special summon a Buster Blader from your hand or graveyard. Doesn't come up too often. You don't want to see Buster Blader in your hand, and a lot of the times he's banished from the graveyard because of memories. But there are some cases where you might want to do this. Sometimes you do have opportunities for that. This card, and then you have a secondary effect which might come up as well, where if it's in the graveyard and you control a Buster Blader, you can discard a Destruction Sword and special summon it. So mainly you just use it for the search. These secondary effects are nice as well. So Whelp is a one card get your combo, get these guys on the field, because you can just normal summon him, link summon either Striker Dragon or Link Karibo, and then you have your dragon in the graveyard so that your memories can work. So that's kind of like the main Buster Blader strategy. Those are the Buster Blader cards. I mean, except for Buster Blader himself. His effect hardly ever comes up. Like if monster your opponent controls is destroyed, you can equip it to this card. I mean, maybe. If the neat thing is, I'm actually looking at it right now. If an opponent's monster is destroyed by battle or card effect, it does not specify. It doesn't specify by your card effect. So if he's on the field, he could equip DPE. That is a thing that could happen. It's a very rare interaction, but that's a thing that could happen. So something to keep in mind, I guess. Very rare interaction, but it'd be really funny. But yeah. So the other aspect of this deck is going to be the rocket engine. So I think that this is most common. I think this is the best way to approach the deck. I was actually looking at some Japanese lists. I had the brilliant big brain play of copying Buster Blader. Japanese name on the wiki, and so I could access that part of YouTube. And a lot of them use the rocket engine. A lot of them also use some. I've seen them also, over here, on the Master Duel website, where a lot of people are using Chaos Ruler, and I can go into why in a bit. But he's a nice card to have. But yeah, I keep the rocket engine very small. 2 Tracer, 1 Silver Rocket. You just need him because he's level 4, and the 1 Rocket Synchron, who's nice to have. He works with you can revive stuff from the graveyard with him and make stuff, and typically you'll make like Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. So it's a nice little interaction. And with it, complementing these guys, we have 3 Dragon Shrine, which we can use to bring out Absol Dragon, who, when he hits the graveyard, he can search a rocket monster, which is nice. You can also special summon them from the hand if you have a rocket monster. So it's it's nice to have that. So if he is in your hand, and you have rocket, you can just special summon him, and then you can use him to add a monster by destroying it with Striker. So, yep. Rocket Tracer, 2, 3, Quick Launch 3. And so, yeah, so you have 8 cards on the Buster Blader side of things to get you up and running. And then you have 8 cards on the Rocket side of things to get you running. And so typically what you can do is, with Rocket Tracer, it kind of works with, depending upon what you have in your hand. You can use him you can make a Buster Dragon with him. You can make Borolo Savage, depending upon how you brought him out. You might make Hulk. Hulk we use to go into, we'll show how Hulk works. I have some replays to show you some combos as to, how the deck works, shortly after. But yeah, the Rocket side of things, it's really versatile. It does a lot. The deck doesn't have like these super high ceiling combos. It can do a lot. But we don't really worry too much about like super high ceiling stuff because our win condition is a stun based one. So Buster Dragon, once this is up, it can do a lot of stuff. And then you can have, if you have your lockup and you have a Baron or a Borolo Savage or a Hot Red Dragon Oshfeed to back it up. That's nice. Yeah. We also have a second type of lock. With Buster Dragon right here. If he's equipped to a monster, your opponent can't special summon from the extra deck. So pretty powerful. You got 2 pretty powerful locks that you can go into, and that's going to be your win condition. So we're not doing a bunch of fancy Hulk or Rorodon combos that can be, interrupted and stuff. We want the lock. Finally, I'm actually running the Sky Striker engine, which I like. I like it a lot. In my Infernoid deck, I use it, and it works really nicely. I just have the one Kagari. It's all I need. What's nice about it is the fact that it's a one card Protector Whelp. Protector Whelp can send a Destruction Sword card from your deck to the graveyard, and if you have a Buster Blader in your hand, you can special summon it. So it works with Whelp. Whelp can, for whatever reason, if you haven't, Whelp can add Buster Blader to your hand, and if you can make Protector Whelp, then you can special summon the Buster Blader. So that's nice. One thing I'm actually going to update right now. So you can just use the 3 Dragon Shrine, that's probably fine, but if you have one, we can just replace one of them with Foolish Burial. Because there actually may be some cases where you do... Yeah, like Foolish Burial can send anything. Does everything that Dragon Train does and more. So there might be some niche cases, actually, where you do want to send Buster Blader from the deck to the graveyard. And so you'll have that option. Yep. But the thing about, like, back to Sky Striker, sorry, this is all over the place, is Sky Striker actually works really because it's a 1-card Protector Whelp, and it doesn't use your normal summon. It works with any of those, cards I was talking about earlier, whether it's Protector Whelp, whether it's Rocket Tracer. It will work, and it'll help you set up the lock. It'll help you set up a lock. It'll, whether it's the regular the fusion lock, or you can lock with the extra deck. So if you have a Sky Striker card, whether it's Engage or Hornet, and you have one of the Rocket cards, one of the Tracer, starters, whatever they may be, you can actually set up a board with Buster Dragon, Buster Blader, and then you can have, Dragon Buster in the graveyard to equip on your opponent's turn. So that's a fun little combo. I'll show that off. But yeah, so now that's kind of going into some detail stuff. I mean, we run Maxi. The double Imperm for the trap, works with Trap Trick in case we have Prologue. Trap Trick has another target. We'll have one Ash. Ash is okay. It's good to have for our Crossout Designator. Crossout Designator is really nice. I mean, you can use it for anything. You can use it for that. You can use it for Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave can mess you up if they time it right. So if you Call by the Grave Buster Blader, if they do Prologue, do not chain Call by the Grave to Prologue, because then they'll just chain Destruction Sword Memories. You have to wait for the Destruction Sword Memories to activate, because the cost is banishing itself, so the stuff will be in the graveyard for you to banish, so you can chain your Call by the Grave. Yep. Imperm, basic stuff. Triple Tactics. This is a great card. I've been using it a bit more. I've been using it in my Infernoid decks. Been liking it a lot. I decided to use it in this one. Everyone's running Maxi. Everyone's running Ash. So it's a nice card to have. There's one game, actually, when I was playing casual, I was able to activate it, and I had the lock. I already had enough pieces to set up the lock, so I used the effect to rip a card from my opponent's hand, and I saw that he had a Forbidden Droplet, so I got to get rid of that, which was really nice. But yep, great thing about Triple Tactics is, your stuff that you negate, whether it's if you use your Ash to negate something, or you use your Crossout Designator, or your Call by the Grave to get rid of something, like a hand trap or whatever. These guys, they negate the effect and not the activation. So if you do get rid of something with your Call by the Grave, your Triple Tactics talent will still be active. So nothing's conflicting, everything's nice, which is what we want to see. We don't like to see stuff not playing nice. Alright. The extra deck, I showed you the main stuff. We run Borreload Savage. He's easy to make if you want to make it. Chaos Ruler. Now, the thing about Chaos Ruler is like you see right here, he can excavate the top 5 cards from your deck, and then you can add one of them from your deck to the hand. So, say you have a situation where you have Quick Launch, but you don't have Whelp, and you don't have Prologue, you don't have Trap Trick. You can make Chaos Ruler, and you can fish for the top 5 cards. Buster Whelp assuming that you don't have anything in your hand and you're taking it from the deck, the quick launch, you start with 5 cards. The quick launch will fetch the Rocket Tracer, and then that will make Striker, and then the Striker will fetch out the Boot Sector launch, and then it'll bring back the Rocket Tracer, and then the Rocket Tracer can activate its effect, and it'll bring out Silver Rocket. So that's going to be another 3 cards, so you have 32 cards in your deck, and then you fish for the top 5 for 3 of. It comes out to be, I think, I did it on the probability calculator earlier. I think it comes out to be about 40% chance of hitting well, which is really good. I think for that, he's definitely worth running. And he also has his, you can banish 1 light and 1 dark, special summon the card. That's really easy to do. So, definitely a 3k bait stick, so he can help you OTK. We run Baron. Baron's great. We run Link Karibo. He's useful. Basically, I just run him for sometimes it's to get Dragon Buster in the graveyard. Sometimes it's Wealth to get in the graveyard because I don't want to use up my Striker Dragon. I guess I could just run 2 Striker Dragon. Yeah, I can just run 2 Striker Dragon. Just run 2 Striker Dragon. Link Karibo, maybe not. Got the 1 Kagari, we got the 1 Hulk, and we've got the 1 Protector Whelp. We use our Formula Synchron a lot with Hulk. So the thing is like when you set up Hulk, and then you bring out your Dragon Buster Destruction, and then put him in the graveyard, and then on your opponent's turn, you set up the lock, and then you bring out the Formula Synchron, and then you equip Dragon Buster to your Buster Blader, and that will allow you to have an extra deck lock, and then on your opponent's turn, use the Formula Synchron with your Buster Dragon, who's going to be destroyed because of Prologue by the end of your turn, to make the Baron. And then, you've got a nice little board set up. Yippee. Number 90, he's just here. He might go, he might not. He might find a better replacement. I was thinking about Ningirsu, or Dingirsu, the rank 8, and then running him and then running Zeus. That would be fun. Or you could just run Dingirsu for Destruction Protection. That may or may not be useful. So, alrighty. So, this is the deck profile. I'll show some combos right now just to show you basically how the deck works. Alrighty. Alrighty, so here's just a quick one right here, showing how you can set up basically you can set up a lock without Prologue using Quick Launch and the Sky Striker engine. So what we'll do is we'll bring out our Engage. No, do not want to. Doing the Sky Strikers. Just doing the Sky Striker thing, Now we can so after this, we're summoning Hornets again, and now we're going to be bringing out our Silver Rocket Dragon. So now we're going to make our Whelp. Normally, actually, no, forget I said that. So now we're actually going to send Buster Blader to the graveyard. And then we're going to use these two fellows to make Hulk. Not making Striker Dragon just yet. Now, normally we would be bringing out Buster Whelp right there. But in this case, he's not. I guess you could bring out Rocket Synchron if you want. That'd probably be. Maybe that would be better. If I had a second Striker Dragon. And yeah, we should probably be running a second Striker Dragon over Linkuriboh, but whatever. Yep, and so we'll make him. Now we make our Striker Dragon. Uses effect. And now we can special summon our boy. Bring out our Silver Rocket. And voila. We got our Buster Dragon. You can special summon out our Buster Blader. And then typically on our opponent's turn, we would equip with Buster Dragon's effect. But since we got him in hand, we can just equip him right now. I would suggest leaving him at the moment like this. But yeah, and then, you know, next turn, I don't know what this guy is going to have. He's just the regular Joe Dragon army. And so we'll just activate our Hulk to bring out our formula. So we can get a card out of that, you know. And supposing that he survives, which would be nice, then after that, I mean, we can just go for our effective special summon. We can actually just do Chaos Ruler, actually. Because we're just going to make Barone out of him. It's not really worth the effect, but whatever. But yeah, you see, we can just, it's easy to fish Whelp. Make Barone. Yeah, we could, if we wanted to, also bring out our, Yeah, I mean we've got stuff to do. I mean we could special summon this guy out to make a Borreload Savage. We can also activate our effect right here to banish. We can banish our formula, and then our Silver Rock, our striker, whatever. But that's kind of like the thing about Buster Blader is it's kind of like once you set up the lock, then you can just kind of keep piling on. I mean, then after that we can even use our Whelp effect in the graveyard to bring out our Hot Redded Dragon Archfiend. But yeah, that's really kind of it, showing just kind of like how you can set up the lock without Prologue. And now we have Prologue. Alrighty, here's just another combo with, we're looking at, Whelp and Rocket Tracer, so you can ignore, I mean, obviously it works with Quick Launch, it also works with the Sky Striker cards as well, so, yep, so what you're going to do in this situation, you normal your Whelp, Whelp will search Prologue, we're going to ignore the Prologue there as well. And then, we can just make our Striker Dragon. This is another great thing about the Rocket engine is that, your normal summon, one of your normal summons is Tracer, but if you have Tracer with Whelp, that's still a-okay. You can use both of them. Works perfectly fine. So that's nice. You don't have, your hands aren't clogged up. They don't ever feel clogged up, which is nice. But, yep. So, we're just going to summon our Tracer right here. And, yep, we are making Hulk. From here, it's pretty straightforward. The combos aren't really that complicated, which is nice. It's some of these combos they're really nuts. Funny story, I actually, and here we make like Karibo. Funny story, I remember, for whatever reason, I was thinking about playing Infernoble Knights, and I was just like, and I had, stuff saved up, I could make another deck, I was just like, what am I going to make? I had Infernoble on my mind. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to make one super, and I'm going to open one pack, because I had my free, pack for it. I said, okay, if I get an Ultra for the deck, I'll build the deck, whatever. So I opened one pack, and I get a Zold, which is nice, but I started learning the combos, and it was just madness. I was like, you're telling me I have to do this every single game? Every single game I have to go through like this 20-step combo? No thanks. So yeah, we kind of do this setup, and it's like what we showed last time with Hulk. Only this time, nothing's going to be attacking it if everything goes according to plan. But yeah. So, we'll just, we'll want to do, formula can miss timings, so we don't want to chain Hulk to that, because then it'll miss timing. So we can just send our boys to the graveyard, chain destruction sword memories, right there, easy peasy. And you don't want to have the formula synchron miss its timing. It's nice to keep the Whelp in the graveyard so you have a light monster, just in case you're making Chaos Ruler. So yeah, now we got our lock on board. And now that it's the end of the main phase, now we can, activate our Hulk. And also, while we're at it, we're just going to activate our Distraction Swordsman right there. Boop. So this way we can maintain the extra deck lock. So, nice, simple little game plan. So now we can make the Barone. And we still have our extra deck lock. If needed, we could have instead like summon the Synchron, summon the Buster Whelp, and then make Abyss with our Buster Dragon, and then we make Barone with him. That's another thing. If for whatever reason we don't want the extra deck lock, whatever. But yeah, that's it. Kind of like the simple game plan, and then you just kind of pile on top of that. So you lock your opponent out, and then you just kind of pile on advantage, and that's how you're going to win. So, yep, that's really kind of it for the profile and everything. I think that's kind of it. It's a fun deck. It can steal wins, but it's kind of, it's not the best deck in the game, obviously, but it can do pretty well. So that's it. Have a good one. Take it easy.